Hey guys, welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. It is Tuesday. Time for another, yes, I said it, another live stream. It's been a good week. It's Tuesday, but had a great weekend. Wow, looks like there's a bunch of stuff in the chat already. It's funny, I don't see any of that until I actually bring the video live. So, cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Who all do we have in the chat? Neil, welcome. 3 Bean Raceway, welcome. DeFingers is in the house. Welcome, DeFingers. Hey, Steve, what's going on? Gene, welcome, Gene. Hey, Danny. Good to have you, as always. Hey, Greg. Yeah, just rolling through here real quick just to give some shout-outs. Oh, yeah. What's up, Beating It Classics? I believe that's Duval Slots. Yes. As well. Hey, John Tucci. Hey, Kirby Road. Good to have you guys tonight. So what's happening in your world? I've been really busy. Had a crazy live stream last night with Raul and George and Dave Kennedy and Jim Cunningham were on. Really interesting conversations about content and creating content, and then we kind of rabbit trailed all over the place, but that's okay. That's what happens sometimes. So, hey, Great Northern 70, good to have you. Coffee, that's right. Coffee, that's right. Coffee. We'll talk about coffee in a little bit. Hey, Chris, welcome. Go Bucks, right? I may lose subscribers for wearing this shirt. I'm sorry. I apologize. Unapologetic. I grew up in Ohio. It's hard not to be an Ohio State fan, but it's actually just happens to be the shirt that I'm wearing today. It was my undershirt. What else we got? Steve, got your shadow. I figured we'd probably talk about the shadow a little bit. There was a couple. Bruce from Cincy Slots had an awesome live stream last night. I had to catch the replay. Bruce is on, man. Thanks for sharing. He got his shadow, kind of tore it apart in front of the camera. That's what I've been excited to see somebody do that, so we can see inside that thing. That's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. So, yeah. So hopefully a bunch of you got your OAH. That's right. Swarm 52. I apologize. I don't know how to do your handle. If you haven't noticed, if I figure out your first name, I usually don't call you by your handle. But there are a couple people. I know DeFingers' first name, but DeFingers is kind of a legend. And so I still call him DeFingers, even though I know what his real name is. It's just one of those things. Like to call people by their real name. Oh, Billy. Yes. Billy, I sent you the link. Yeah, let me get through a couple of things here, and then we'll jump in. Billy and Amanda will have the Carrera King from Canada and his first lady, maybe, hopefully. Billy, I don't know. You didn't say if Amanda was jumping in or not. But if she is, that's awesome. So we'll bring them on. I had so much fun the first time I had them on the live stream, and it's been a while since we've been able to catch up. So I thought I'd bring them on. Billy wants to talk about some track designs, probably left over from last live stream, maybe, or two live streams ago, where we talked about 2-lane, 4-lane digitals, stuff like that. So Billy sent me some pictures, so we'll be able to roll through those. But just have some housekeeping things I want to get out of the way up front. As always, hey John W. Hey George, welcome, man. Hey Tom Ross, Daryl, welcome to the house, Daryl. Good to have you, man. Gary, what's up? Shotgun Dave is in the house. So exciting! This is awesome. This is very, very cool. Let's see. Yeah, if you have a second, hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up, so YouTube knows that this channel exists out there. Hey, Eric, you are a first timer on the. I'm glad you jumped in on the chat, man. We have a lot of people who watch and don't participate in the chat, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. But I do love it when people jump in. Hey, Robert, welcome. Hey, Gary. Yeah, I thought last night's stream was great too. So thanks, Racer X. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, no, but Eric, going back to Eric Tucker, he's a first timer. Thanks for joining. We're happy to have you. You'll find that the chat is a great community. Tons of knowledge and information, a bunch of experience. If there's questions that you have, throw it in the chat. A lot of times the chat is a whole nother live stream. I'm over here rambling on, and they're over there fixing the world's problems. So, yeah, don't be afraid. Slot Car Dojo, welcome. Neil, glad to have you, man. Let's see, Johnny Pro, thanks for joining. Steve is excited about his shadow. The shadows are here, and that's plural. So, Steve, you ordered more than one. Based on we'd heard that maybe they were only making 500 of those, but I think they're just shy of 2,000 that were produced. Based on the numbers, Bruce said that he had number 963 or something like that, of 1920 maybe. So a little over 1,900 cars. Pat, hold it. I won't. You probably just go to the Goodwill and get you a better shirt. Yeah, I probably could find one. Do you have one blue and yellow? Hey, I'm not one of those Ohio State fans. I'm just going to put it out there. I am an Ohio State fan, but I don't hate any of the other Big Ten teams. I love to watch Big Ten football, and when they're playing anybody else, I root for the Big Ten. One of my best friends, he's a big Michigan fan, loves Michigan, and we always chat about during the games back and forth. And I support the Big Ten, and I support the Mountain West because my kids went to Colorado State. Don't have a lot to cheer for out there, Colorado State from a sports program, but hey, it's beautiful out there. Slot R is in the house. DeFingers is a legend indeed. Yes, DeFingers is a legend, as Travis would say. So, Growing Boxer 27 STI, welcome, dude. I love your little icon. That's pretty cool. Raul Conquest, welcome, man. Oh, speaking of Conquest, Raul did something really cool for a bunch of us, and I'll go ahead and share that. I said I had some things I wanted to get kind of out of the way up front before I look up and we're 20 minutes in and I haven't accomplished anything. But let's see, where's it at? So Conquest, he, let me see if I can get this to come up. Maybe. Or did I lose it? There it is. So conquestlayer.com/shop-2. I imagine eventually that will change, but I'll drop a link to that in the chat. And that's a kind of a cool web store that Raul put together. And it's got some stickers from a bunch of us, my channel 2 Lines and Raul's channel Conquest and George's Area 51, Harry Wise's Home Racing World created a logo. Dick's Slot Cars, I think, Slot Car Garage, which is Danny in the chat. And who else? Oh, Dave, Shotgun Dave. He did a cool logo for him. So he created some sticker sheets that you can pick up for your pit box or something. I don't know. But a little bit of it comes back to the channels to help us kind of continue, what we're doing. So we thought it would be fun. He made up some T-shirts too, so you can take a look at them. But I just wanted to plug that. It feels kind of weird talking about this stuff, but we found that a lot of you guys want to support us somehow because you appreciate the content, and we can't thank you enough. But this might be another way, and then you get something out of it. And again, tonight, we're giving away some coffee. So that's the shop. Give some coffee. Let's see. I bring Rost up. My buddy Trent at Rost Coffee. Things are coming back together. He shipped out the coffee from a few weeks ago. So those guys told me on Monday that they got their coffee, and that's pretty exciting. I think he felt bad that that's what happened, but it's just, I think life had been crazy. The fire was just pretty devastating, I think, morally. Morally, I don't know if that's the right word. It just wore him down. So I appreciate you guys jumping on roastcoffee.com. If you like coffee, give me a coffee in the live chat, so that I know that if you win coffee, that you actually like coffee. And I'll try to announce that before the stream's over, because it's been getting hard to get a hold of people and finding information about them. So we'll do that before we close. And if you're not in the live chat, I pick your name, I apologize. We'll figure that out. But yeah, go to roastcoffee.com, use 2 lines, all one word, TWOLINES, and you get 25% off your first purchase, 20% off a subscription. I know some of you guys have jumped in and done a subscription for coffee, and that's fantastic. And that's actually a really great price for a bag of coffee. So yeah, thanks for supporting my buddy, Trent. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee. The link will be in the description of the video, but I noticed that YouTube cuts off half of the address on a bunch of old videos, so I'll try to have that corrected tonight. But as we move forward. But anyway, so yeah, good stuff. Couple things. It's been kind of a crazy couple weeks. I've received some things in the mail. I've purchased a couple of slot cars. I've talked about the Flounder, and I picked up a BMW Ninko, my first Ninko, and tuned those up. And I have to tell you, I got them under 9 seconds on my layout. That's I'll take a picture here. That's what the layout looks like. It's not well lit during the live stream, but yeah. So 97 feet of track. So under 9 seconds is pretty good. I mean, that's moving around the track. But I had a video that I released this past week. I got this beauty. We've already talked about this. This is the NSR, the Mosler. And it's the 10th anniversary, and I threw it out there whether I should pull it out of the box. It comes in this beautiful box. And should it become a shelf queen? And the majority ruled in all of the comments. We decided to tune it up. So thanks to Oscar last week, hooked me up with a handful of slot invasion guides. I put another video out about that. Shout out to Oscar, man. I'm telling you what, that was fantastic. We're just really, really thankful that he appreciated the shout out, and he really took care of me. So, but we put a slot invasion guide on the Mosler, just loosened the motor pod a little bit, and I put some super tires on it. These are 1403s, fit really well. So those of you who have Mosler and you're looking at some super tires, 1403s fit really well. I don't know what Quick Slick's number is, but we've been running Super Tire. We like to support them. They've been a great friend of the channel. So people who jump out there and support me, I got to support them back. So, but this car is fast. And I don't know, in the chat, I'm not able to pay attention to the chat. It looks like there's a bunch of stuff going on. It is a very sweet car. And I am super blessed to be the proud owner of this thing. But I put it on the track. And guys, this is now the no-mag, the non-mag track record holder. it's impressive. It gets around the track really well. And it's the first time a car has run under 8 seconds with no magnets. It ran a 7:9:43, I think. I posted a Instagram reel about it. So if you guys like Instagram, I post a lot of stuff out on Instagram. Just follow Two Lines Slot Cars. But yeah, this car is really good. But I have an important question. What class at your tracks does this car run in? Because it's not a Group C car, although I think it would. I mean, it's faster than a Group C car. Does it run GT3? I mean, I think that's what the Mosler did run. I don't know. So what class, or has it been outlawed because it's so stinking fast? So, yeah, man, great car. And then I got oh wait, hang on. Let me look at the. Yes, Chris, Slot Invasion Guide, and it keeps that car in the slot. It's impressive. I also put a Slot Invasion Guide on the Ninko. I also used the DTM tuning kit that came from Slot Invasion to rebuild the rear end, and this thing still makes all kinds of noise going around the track. Richard Kruger, on the subject of guardrails, I hate Carrera. Mine are full of paint from all my cars. I found this stuff at Home Depot called plastic poultry netting by Everbuilt. You get a roll of 3 foot by 25 feet. Richard, that's cool. I'll have to check it out. I'm not familiar with what that product is. But people were sending me to Home Depot and Menards and Lowe's after some plastic like lattice work, and said that makes really good guardrail. So I'm sure if that's plastic, it would hold up really well. I have a Ninko Mosler with a famous cracked plastic pinion. Got to get a brass replacement, slot at 12 tooth, and try running it. Slot R. I don't know anything. Yeah, Robert Hill. It's not surprising. I know they're famous for being very fast cars. So not surprised. Slot Invasion guides are awesome. I use them on my Carrera track. They are fantastic on a Carrera track, and I'm guessing that would translate well over to a wood track. Yep, Slot Invasion on all of mine. Yep, I'm slowly getting there. I have a lot of Slot Invasion guides on cars already. Great. Sunday we'll be talking about guardrail and stuff so soon. So we'll bring them on here just in a few minutes. Light Tech Slots. Thanks, man. I know I missed a bunch of traffic there, guys, so I apologize. So yeah, Robert, let's see, I have a handful of cars that have the red scale auto guide as well. The nice thing about that is you get it in a 2-pack. And it's pretty inexpensive. So, yeah, those are really good too. The best part of this guardrail is it's invisible. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Sean, I think people have problems putting it in a class. A lot of people own the car. I would say that it's one of NSR's most popular cars because people know it's fast. But yeah, I don't have the video. But if you go to my Instagram account, you can watch, and my Facebook page. I posted a story, a reel, I think, with video of the car going around the track. It's impressive. No magnets in this, Steve. No magnets. Neil, that is awesome, bro. Thanks, man. I hope you enjoy. I'd love to see those stickers on your pit boxes. So anyway, but I have one last thing. I got an anonymous box in the mail yesterday. And it came with, I don't have the other car. It came with, here it is. It came with this. This is a 124 scale Auto Art Subaru, which is really, it's a 4-wheel drive. And it gets around my track okay. If I could find some silicone tires for it, I think this thing would actually be very competitive versus a Carrera 124 scale car. But very cool. But this box was in there as well. And this box is, I'm talking about how fast the Mosler is, and I'm thinking that this might give it a run for its money. But I've got some construction to do. But it's the Toyota, and it's a white kit. So I'm going to have to paint this thing. Let me focus. There, it's looking for my eyes. But super lightweight body. But I have to tell you that the chassis is super impressive, man. It's got some cool tech in it. The motor pod is very, very interesting. And so I'm going to have to put this together, but I wanted to throw this out there. What do you think? Does this thing have a chance once I get it put together and get it tuned, if I can tune it? Do you think it's got a shot at the track record for no mag? And then my actually probably the more important question is, here, I'll throw it over on this camera so that you can actually see up close. And I mean, there's some cool stuff going on with that chassis. I don't know. I mean, check that out. That motor pod has got a pin so that it actually will rock and roll. And then, okay. What color does that need to be? I have some ideas, but I'm curious in the chat. Let me know. Yeah. What color? What color do I need to paint this car? Because I can't go with white because my buddy Daryl doesn't like white cars. There'll be a little bit of white showing. But, so what color? What do you think? My best Mosler, Sean, here we go. My best Mosler is still faster than that SRC LB. Okay. Well, my goal is to get this baby tuned up and looking good and getting around the track as fast as the Mosler. That's going to be my project. So I was blown away. So whoever sent that to me, I really appreciate it. That was a super kind gesture, sending me those. I will have a lot of fun with them. I will share those. That's the one thing is I love to let people drive my cars. John Mark's grandson came over and he ran laps on everything in the room, and I loved it. So there will be people will get great use out of these, and they will have a lot of fun when I have guests over. So thank you very much. It really means a lot. So there's kind of all the housekeeping stuff. Billy and Amanda, you guys ready to jump in? Yeah, just hit the link whenever you're ready, and I'll bring you guys in, and we can kind of jump in and get started now that I'm 24 minutes into the live stream. Toyota Racing Colors. Gary, I agree. So try a two-tone paint. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Toyota Racing Colors. Now, what are the Toyota Racing Colors? Is that red and white? Jamie. I'm liking where you're going with that, man. Greg, yeah, the Subaru, the detail on that thing is awesome. So it needs some tuning. It needs some tires. We got to figure that part out. See if I can track down some tires for it. Yeah, Sean, more hypercars are coming. That's what's really exciting about that is I think that's going to be a big class. It seems like there are multiple companies making these hypercars. People are excited about it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, look who is in the green room. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good. I'm going to bring you on. You ready? Here we go.
Look at that, Andy. Here, I'll move this over for you.
It squeezes you when we do that.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
We're used to being squeezed. It's all right.
It's get cozy, guys.
Okay, there you go.
So welcome to Tuesday night live stream at Two Lines. The last time you guys were on, it feels like an eternity ago. A lot has happened and changed for my channel, but I think a lot has happened for you guys on your channel. So give us an update on what's going on.
Well, we've been building a few club tracks, so that's why I thought we'd go through some club track designs today.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm just constantly out of stock right now.
That's a good problem, right?
It is a good problem. It's funny though, because you just finished ordering all those shoulders. You're like, I'm not going to sell any more shoulders for a long time. These boxes will last, a while, and I'm going to have to go through another restock this weekend. So it's kind of funny because I was just relaxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you get done a major project, you think you're all done, and then you have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know how do you decide what to keep in stock, and because I would say that things go kind of are cycles, right? You sell a bunch of track, then you sell a bunch of borders and cars and things like it. It just
okay. I shouldn't say everything, but like you really just have to keep, like, scenery, for example, is something that doesn't sell very fast. But the problem is that when somebody wants scenery, they want all of their scenery at once, right? Like,
right.
If you're missing, let's say, an item, they're just going to shop from another site. So you have to keep everything on, like, at a good number, or else you're going to lose a customer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying, but
yeah. So I feel like you guys are kind of like the go-to for everyone up there in Canada, right? For Carrera.
Yeah, we don't. Okay, I don't want to sound too egotistical here. I mean, I do that enough already. So
that's funny. No, but we joke around about Raul and Massimo that you're like their dealer, but really it's
I love that they're putting our kids through college. That's for sure. Like, thank you to them for that.
But it's great that you guys are up there and are available and have inventory and can supply people with their Carrera gear. Do you carry anything else outside of Carrera? Do you carry any other brands or?
Just Inox lubricant, which we're also sold out of.
So what caused all this? Was it your Whatnot auctions?
Yeah, I would say so. Whatnot definitely did help out a lot.
Yeah.
Love to work with them again in the future.
Okay.
They helped us reach a new audience. I think it just helps also it brought the hobby as a whole up a notch too, because for people who don't know what Whatnot is, I didn't explain myself very well before. That was because we're on a limited time schedule. We're doing a Whatnot stream later that night. So we were on Raul's stream trying to explain it. It's like a live auction site. So think of it like eBay, except people are live. And I want to point out to you guys, I am not sponsored by them right now. So don't think I'm being biased.
Okay. Well, so I jumped on for a handful of your live streams, and to me it seemed a little chaotic. Was it that way for you guys? Amanda's shaking her yes.
A little, but we tried our best to be as organized as possible. Like, we had all the product out. We put everything in an order, so we kind of knew what was going on.
It was definitely an all-day project to get the stream ready for the night. Like, I didn't expect to have to do that much work, but like, you would have to list everything with photos throughout the day, and then for later that night, the stream. And on the weekend, you're trying to get ahead of the stream too, so you'd have a little bit more time throughout the week to like grocery shopping.
Right.
Or not neglect the children.
Right.
It was quite the fight, but it was definitely worth it.
So it was 2 weeks, I hope 5 nights a week, right?
Yeah, we'll probably do more Whatnot streams once they start collecting taxes for Canadians. Like, that's a big non-starter for us right now, is they're not collecting taxes for Canadians. So it just doesn't make any financial sense for us to do it right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if they're not helping you in that, and you still have to pay it and deal with it. So
the tax in Canada, I need American customers. I need Americans, because you don't understand how bad tax is here. I mean, it was like the highest tax province.
The highest tax province, I think, is New Brunswick. I think they're at 15%.
So imagine losing 15% of your sale and then losing the Whatnot commission on that sale.
And then plus the regular processing fee too for credit cards.
Yeah, right. So that's just that. But Whatnot really helped out. I think they did help out because they were reaching a whole new audience. It's a lot of younger people on Whatnot too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really good to
So is
show
there?
more people slot cars.
So is there anybody else on the slot car channel for Whatnot? I mean, you were doing a live stream. Massimo was doing a live stream, but I've not gotten notifications of anybody else doing anything.
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've got a decent credit to spend on there right now, but I've been kind of perusing other things.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked, but yeah, it was fun. I laughed a lot because it was funny. I remember I was shopping for a 124 scale car, and I jumped on, and you were selling one like right in the midst of when I jumped on, and I had never bid on anything. I had no idea what was going on. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking at my phone, and all of a sudden it was sold, and it was John Bacon, and now it's on my shelf because he sent it to me. So I have one of your
funny
cars.
Story. Did John tell you the funny story about that?
No.
So he had actually bought one already the night before or earlier that week. He forgot that he already bought that one. So he bought it, asking if we could ship it to you. But because how Whatnot works, we were not able to do that. Like, unfortunately, we cannot.
Oh, that's
because they track their shipping tracking is how it finally gives us the money for the product. So it's like, unfortunately, we can't. But yeah, we thought that was hilarious. So he's like, well,
to be honest with you, if I had seen the slot car at that price, I don't care if I already owned it. I would have bought a second one.
Yeah, it was cheap. It was like $18 or something crazy.
Yeah, I know it was cheaper. I think it was cheaper than a chip. Like, I was like,
yeah.
Whew.
So I was like, again, time.
I don't want people thinking that we could do those kind of prices. Okay, that was a special thing Whatnot had. We worked out with them that was letting us sell things that cheap. So don't expect us.
Yeah, Massimo kind of explained that on one of his. I don't know if it was on Raul's stream when Massimo was on. He was talking about it that there was some incentive to get some channels started and to try to see if slot cars could go, and so yeah. That's how you were able to do that. Which it was great for the people who bought cars at a really cheap price, and hopefully it paid off for you guys with more traffic to your regular site. I thought it was funny. So John, I gotta do something nice for him since he ended up paying like twice for that car.
No, he was very nice about it.
If you think about it, he got like a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, that's right. So what's next for you guys in the store, on your online store?
We've been 3D printing stuff, so I want to be posting like the video game tracks with more non-cardboard scenery.
Yeah.
So we're trying that. Right now, I'm actually just
slow process, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, it takes like Amanda thinks it's slow, but I mean, like, it takes like a day.
A lot of failed prints.
I've got it down now. I want you to know, Amanda, I had no failures today.
Oh,
none.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, a buddy of mine has a 3D printer, and he talks about that too.
Well, stuff happens. The hardest part, once you got it level, if you got it on the bed, it's all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, even though I'm new, like, one of my pretty buildings, Marty, they're flat. Like, if something fails, I can kind of sand it down. You know what I mean? I can salvage it. It's not like I'm making detailed models here.
Right. Yeah. No.
Maybe in the future I'll try to do some custom car bodies, but right now I'm just screwing around.
Yeah, I actually have him printing me a couple. I actually did it last week, I think, printing a couple chassis for me for some cars that perform awful. So that's one thing. Yeah. So, well, cool. So do you want to jump in? Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say this one more thing about the 3D printing is that we were 3D printing figures. I might show one later on. Maybe we'll do that another time. But I didn't realize the FDM printer. So there's two types. There's resin and FDM. The FDM is not so good at doing batch printing. So I have to do like a small amount of figures at a time. I thought I could just fill the whole build plate with them. No, you can't do that, because if one fails, it's like a domino effect and the whole thing is going to fail. So you got to reduce the risk here.
Yeah.
Amanda's just giving this out of this look here. If you're not upset, I'll buy a resin printer. That's okay.
You have to be careful. So you have to just limit the number of you printing just to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. I mean, if I was printing like something like a building, like a one piece building, it's okay. But trying to print like a bunch of smaller things, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah. Conquest says, Roll says, Sunday Slot Car is my favorite dealer in the house.
Yeah, we appreciate all of our customers. Thank you all very much, and thank you, Conquest and MP and everybody else.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of people in Canada running slot cars these days. I feel like I have a lot on my.
It
channel.
was actually, I think Dave Kennedy said this before too, that Canada, okay, usually like you wouldn't care about Canada if you're an American business. Like, sorry to Canadians watching this, but that's true because America's such a bigger
Population.
Yeah. But for slot cars, Canada actually has a good chunk of the population that races slot cars. Like if you go in our department stores, like our toy stores, you're gonna probably find maybe like a brand or even two brands of slot car track in there. Like you'll see like Carrera or Fastlane or Lighthawk. Like there's quite a bit of selection in this country.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
actually we're actually important for the hobby, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Question: I already asked you. I usually ask every Canadian that I meet. Have you ever played the game Crokinole?
No, but I've known somebody that had a board.
Okay, so you know what it is. All right.
We know what it is. We've seen the board.
I make boards. So
okay.
Yeah. So I haven't plywood is at a crazy all-time high right now for cost. So I usually make it out of 3/4 inch plywood, Baltic birch plywood, and it's expensive to build right now because they're about $90 a sheet. So,
yeah.
but I make those boards. It's fun. It's a fun game. I kind of got addicted to it during the pandemic and started a club here in Chillicothe. So not only did I start slot cars, I taught people the Canadian game of Crokinole. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's a lot of fun. There's a YouTube video out there for a game review. It's got millions of views, and it's a guy explaining the game of Crokinole. Anyway, so you want to talk about slot car tracks, design, building. We got into an interesting discussion about 4-lane.
Why don't you throw one of the screenshots up there?
Okay. Let's see. We're probably all going to disappear because it's going to go to my browser, but that's okay.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Okay, so yeah, this is actually one of our newer designs for the flea market track. Now you see here, I had that corner banked on the top left.
Okay. Right here?
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. You need to have like an even like bank turn. So like the main problem I'm talking about here is that I'd want to have like a full 180 turn.
Okay.
Or else the track doesn't clip together right. I learned that I learned that the hard way. I spent like days trying to get that to connect correctly, but it just won't. Now what you can do is what I ended up doing for this turn here, okay? They were all flat turns, but I just shoved some shims underneath some flat turn track to kind of bank it lightly.
Gotcha.
And I did this because it was hard to see under the bridge, so I really wanted to have that bank so you could just like go full throttle over it. So when you're done that turn section, you can just go full throttle and you wouldn't have to worry about wiping out after the bridge.
Okay. And so this is a it's a 4-lane. And
yes.
Is this what your
this is one of
shop
the
track?
This was one of the old flea market tracks. Like I changed it every couple months to keep it fresh for our customers. You can see here that this is one thing I want to comment on is I see everybody running like dual pit lanes, but I find a single extended pit lane is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Ure. So you want to go to the next track or?
Yeah, sir. Sounds good.
Okay. So, okay. Let me figure out what I did.
All right. Well, I'll get your thoughts on more tracks, but to be honest with you, that one's kind of a disaster. So there wasn't much to comment on.
Why did you send that one?
I just want to show what not to do. You got to show your mistakes.
Sure.
I'm just save some people a whole day of work. Trust me, by showing the failure of trying to put a bank turn in without completing the radius. Other pro tip: you really can't do bank turns with flat turns. Like,
you mean?
I know Jim Cunningham has that, but he has that like pinned down to board.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like he's maybe heated some of that to force it to shape. He said that he
I have no idea what his trade secrets are.
Yeah, Okay, for some reason I lost my web browser here. Hang on. Give me just a second.
No problem.
I brought you guys in as a solo, and
we've taken over Marty's channel now.
You've taken over the channel, so there we are for that. And then the web browser.
Okay, well you do. I'll run and go grab some 3D printed stuff. Did you get it?
Nope. You keep going.
Okay, I'll go. You keep trying to do that. I'll go grab something 3D printed in case you're still having some trouble.
So he just abandoned you, Amanda. Just left you there.
Yeah, he's not very far. We moved the 3D printer down to the basement, so it's not far from us right now.
Let's see.
We did have it on the kitchen table for like a couple weeks. That was in the way.
Yeah, I'm sure that was in the way.
And it was a little noisy.
And then then you probably has it running all night too, right? When you go to bed, so you probably had to deal with the noise of the 3D printer.
Well, no, it's not. Yeah? It's not. It wasn't exceptionally loud. Just when you're in the same room, right? So you've got like excessive, like higher than white noise.
Right.
So it was a little loud there. But we had people over on the weekend for our oldest birthday party, so I was like, "You need that gone."
You need to get rid of that so that you can create the scene. For some reason, it will not.
Okay. Oops. All right, so here we have a grandstand.
Oh, nice. So how many hours did that take?
Took 2 days.
2 days.
Like 2 full days of it running.
2 full days of it running, yeah.
On my kitchen table.
Yep. Our kitchen table.
That's fantastic.
So here's a little figure I printed out for it. It's kind of cheering. There's some with the hands down.
Okay.
And I was debating between this because this is like 1/43rd scale, and I'm not sure. I'm debating between. I'm working on a 1/32nd scale grandstand. I'm deciding between the two because the thing is, you need to remember with this Carrera track, because it's so wide, I'm using borders. I feel like using the slightly smaller scale might let me put in more kind of scenery in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be able to be a little more accurate. But I need to test some sizes. And here we have an office building I printed out too. This one I had to assemble. Are you still there, Marty?
Yeah. Are you pulling those plans off of, like Thingiverse? Yep.
Right here, you can see it got a little wavy.
Okay.
That's because I took it off the build plate when the build plate was still hot.
Oh, okay.
Life lesson learned.
So you got to let it cool off before you can.
Yeah, I have a glass bed, so you have to let it cool off. But I really didn't care. So I'm like, whatever. At least I learned with this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not something like this would have sucked. If this had messed up, this would have sucked. But this was just fine. Like, I'm not going to notice that.
So now you get to paint it. Or is that going to be Amanda's job?
Well, I don't really think it matters which one of us paints it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go over this and do a quick dry brush. No washes because there's little lines everywhere. If I wanted to get rid of those little lines, I'm still waiting on. I need to order some primer, it's called sandable primer, so that I can even it out more.
Yeah.
But yeah. By the way, I don't know if I'd recommend people to get 3D printers right now. I don't think they're quite there for consumers to use. It's like you have to have it's like a second hobby. If you have time for another hobby, you go for it.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, I have too much going on in my life, like with slot cars, I don't want to have another time commitment. I wouldn't do a 3D printer right now because you have to level them off and everything. And I just think it's be too aggravating for most people to fiddle with it. It's very fiddly, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, now no one's in. Now there we go.
No, you're right. I was trying to add that. For some reason, it lost the web browser, and that's what I was using to show your pictures of the track. So it when I switched over, it deleted that scene, and for some reason, it's not letting me create it on the fly. So, how How do I show this next picture? Epic fail.
Oh, it's all right. You don't have to. I'm the one that got things all complicated, didn't I?
No. I had it working out, and I clicked. I got happy and clicked the wrong button, and it changed that scene. And so for some reason that scene is not. So Mad P 3D says he's played Crokinole. It's a good game. It's a finger dexterity game. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a tabletop shuffleboard.
Yeah, kind of mixes shuffleboard and pool, and I think it has elements of curling. So at least they try to tie it in with the curling a little bit. So there's some traffic about 3D printers. 3D printers aren't plug and play. Take some time to get up to speed and tweak your settings. Once you get them sorted, though, it's fun. So that's Slot Journal. So Johnny Pros, how much is one of those fancy machines? I think you can spend whatever you want to spend.
Yeah, I got ours. We got ours for 250 Canadian because we had a coupon.
Yeah.
A coupon, or I mean, it was on sale.
No, I used a virtual coupon.
Oh.
Nice.
So it was a good price. I was like, all right, I'll, screw around with this thing for a bit.
Yeah.
Learn.
Well, I'd rather break that than break something like $1,000.
Right.
That part comes later.
Yeah, I could see that. Then you, I know a lot of people buy their 3D printer, and the first thing they do is print parts for it to do upgrades.
Yeah, I saw that, but I was like, oh, whatever. I needed to get started on these buildings right away. So, to be honest, the one I bought isn't very loud. Like Amanda's saying, the only reason it was annoying is it was like, we have a very open concept house.
Well, it's in a small house.
And it's a small house. So it was on the table. And the stupid dog messed one of my prints up too. He went up on there, and I think he had tried to attack the arm. I think he burned himself, and he never tried that again.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Yeah, I was like, get off. Well, he got off that table real quick. I know he snapped at it. I didn't see what happened, but he hasn't done it again. So something happened. He learned his lesson.
Okay, I can do a screen share.
All right.
Let me see if that does it. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much about this one because this one's Raul's.
This is Raul's
latest track.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that from the video.
So he said no.
Okay, he said no oval, right?
Yes, he did. Okay, so he says no oval, but then he's like, I have 2 3x30 bank turns already.
Okay, well.
And I was gonna kind of do a figure 8 thing. I was like, dude, that's gonna be so hard to see. So I was just like, let's just make him a little oval here. So now I do have his actual oval layout of this version that I could elaborate on more later on.
Okay.
But he did tweak this design a little bit. He made that middle right turn. So the turn, I guess it's kind of hard to describe, but you'll see that little S.
Yeah.
He flattened that out. So he straightened that part out.
Gotcha. And then let's go to the next one. Maybe, if I can. There it is. And that's the oval.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about. This is the oval. Now, there was another method to my madness here, Marty. I want to see if you can guess what it is.
A method to your madness? Well,
yeah,
I mean, you were
why
trying
I did this kind of oval here.
I don't know. Like mainly, I mean, you're just reusing.
So this fully filled out his table.
Okay. So you were just.
So I think he also thought ovals were boring, but I really want to stand up for ovals here. You could see here that by just adding some straights to the oval, you'll still get that high speed, but you can also extend your turn, right? So
right.
It just adds some more variety to your oval. It's not so. It doesn't have to be like a standard oval.
So what direction does that run? Do you run?
That's running standard Carrera Digital, so I believe that's not NASCAR.
Yeah. Okay.
He could run it NASCAR by flipping out the pit
The
lane
CU.
and the control unit.
Yeah.
But honestly, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a NASCAR kind of guy, so like I'm not a stickler for orientation.
Okay. Yeah. All the NASCAR guys would be going, you can't run that oval that direction. All right, now I'm liking this. That's a good looking layout.
Okay. I actually don't like this layout. This is actually the very first club track we ever made.
So it wasn't fun once you got it up? Would it have problems?
That was fun. It was fun. It's just there were other ones were better than this one.
Okay.
I kind of just did this design because that was literally the maximum I could make, like with what I had on hand at the time.
Yeah.
So this is only 16 feet.
Wait, was this our very first one at the flea market?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh yeah, so that's the corner in the middle then, right?
Yeah.
That's everyone always falling off of that one.
Yeah, that's what we called it. I forgot about that. That's what our customers call it. So after it wasn't the you'll see that sharp 1x60 section at the top.
Yeah.
That does right for the bridge. For some reason, people didn't fall off there. They would fall off in the center, right that sharp corner right after that.
Yeah.
We added that in for a lane changing section. Like the lane changing sections were literally just added there to increase length of the track.
Okay.
Now the rest of it was pretty good. You went into that 2x30 at the end there, and that felt nice. And then it was another 2x30. If I were to redesign this, I'd probably have sprung for some 2x30 high bank. 3x30 high bank curves for the end of this long straight.
Yeah. That's what I had for about 6 months, is a 3x30 high bank, just like that, with some straights in between, split, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time with it.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to bring up to people's attention before I move on,
Okay.
is you'll see I have that pit. You'll see I have the pit lane right after those turns, like right after instead of in the center.
Yeah.
And the pit lane will actually work better there. We actually were racing magnetless cars at this time.
Okay.
Might be surprised to hear that. So this is the best for beginners because right after the turn, you're not going fast enough to mess up the pit lane and go in the pit lane too fast to miss the sensor.
Right. In that turn, you couldn't get up enough speed on the inside to miss the.
No, you wouldn't. No, that turn was a nice balance of like not like it was like wide enough to go faster than a 1x60, but it was smooth enough that like it just kept you in check.
Yeah.
So you weren't fishtailing, I guess is what you're saying?
Yeah, you weren't fishtailing.
Yeah, you weren't drifting out of that. Especially with the one straight before you get to the pit. That's usually enough to get you there. So, all right. Moving on, another 4-lane.
Yeah, okay. So this is a more recent one. This is a 4-lane digital set, I believe. Okay. Yeah, this is digital.
Yeah.
You'll see here. So the reason there's like that kink before the bank turn is because those are on 5-foot tables until that section. Then that goes to a 6-foot section.
Okay.
Those are also high bank turns on the very left. They're not marked. They look flat, but they're high banked.
Okay. And you're actually going clockwise on this.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a nice way to get like some more variety of your track. If you're getting bored of your track, you can just like flip the digital components around and then, it's like you're racing on a whole new track.
Right. Okay.
People do fall off after that straight.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah, so this is another one for a customer. This customer specifically wanted an 8 and he wanted it long and wide.
Okay.
Those are actually bank turns.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So he wanted to feel like a figure 8 wood track. Correct.
Yeah. I feel like he also kind of wanted to go for like a NASCAR oval thing, but he wanted the lane lengths to be even. So I thought this is a pretty unique kind of track. There is a variety of high banks in this track. I think there's some 4x15 high banks along with the 3x30 high banks because you can see here on that top right corner how that looks different. There is some flex here, so I'm not sure if you need that specific design. Because when you're making a track with high bank turns, you actually have quite a bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
Because that turn, they're very they can go wide or they can go narrow, right? Like they have a good variance, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you can shift them a little bit to compensate more so than just a regular straight.
Yeah, so hopefully he gets that done because I actually want to race on that. That looks pretty interesting.
Who's this one?
This is Mark.
Okay.
And then let's see. I just changed it, but it's lagging a little bit. Hold on. Yes, no. There we go.
Okay, so this is an interesting course here. So this customer had a small space to work in. And I want to point out here that this is one of those rare times where I suggested to him to get GT Race Battle over GT Face Off for another set. So GT Race Battle is like the base Carrera set. Like,
Right.
it's like the most inexpensive without any extras. The reason I did this is because he could run the 2 double lane changers in this course. So he gets one with GT Race Battle because he doesn't have enough room to get 2 sets.
Okay.
And he also, I think double lane changers, like if you're really in a really small space, you're going to use curve lane changers because they only need like 1 straight, and then they also give you that turn, right?
Right.
But if you have enough room for like some decent sized straights, I always suggest to people just to stick with 2 double lane changers because then you're getting like double the amount of space to pass in.
Right. Yeah,
So
it's worth.
this is just one of those really rare cases.
Yeah, I would recommend that too. There's specific places to put single lane changers. When you're trying to force people over to the pits. But double lane changers just really expand so much, and it's not that much more for a double.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's if you're limited on space, like if you could do like kind of a little above a starter set, like this is probably a good layout for you because it's I don't like going crazy with the L-shaped tables, and I really am not a fan of U-shaped tables at all.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I don't like just mainly because of the way it makes you move your head to watch your cars, especially. I mean, if you stick your drivers in the middle of that U, it just you're turning your head too much and becomes a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit. I don't mind L shapes as long as you can keep your line of sight consistent. Okay, yeah, here's a nice one. Now I'm not sure. I feel like this kind of looks. Oh, looks similar to another flea market track we had. Actually, it kind of looks similar to something you've built before. Now,
so that's got a high bank, a 415 high bank.
Yes, sir.
On one end. Yeah, that's a big turn, especially if you throw a straight in the middle of
it. So you can see here we leave a bit of challenge here with the bottom section. Now, I like when I'm building some tracks, I do like including some 1x60 turns, like just usually 1. But if I'm putting in a 1x60, I like to keep, and I need to put other 1x60s with it, I'll keep them in like the same area. So like the bottom section is the only challenging section. Once you hit the top, like once you hit that pit lane area, you're pretty much all clear.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick gander here. Yeah, I feel like some of these ones are just people asking me to make the most out of their space too.
Okay. So you find that you have customers that say, my table is this, will you design something that fits?
A lot of the time, yeah. Actually, that's probably, really? I'd say about like even a third of customers who want to start slot cars will ask me to custom design them a track. And then I just do the pieces for them. Like I do the part counts for them. If you do, like, it's interesting because a lot of people want to build like club tracks, want to go way too crazy. Like I had one customer who wanted to buy 3 starter sets, and I'm just like, dude, you need like 20 straights. Like you do not need 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my advice to people. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, so this is the newest one I just designed for somebody.
Okay.
So they wanted an expanded pit lane. So if you look above there, I actually have the pit curved.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of curving the pit lane. I'll tell you why. Because first off, you have it mentally that you have to go in the pit slower to not wipe out on the turn above.
Right.
So it really helps out new people. But it also, I find, helps get more people in that pit lane easier. So you can actually fit quite a bit of cars in there because what you would do here, I see people make this mistake all the time. Don't put the pit lane read sensor directly after the entrance.
Right.
I have one standard straight, then the pit read sensor. So in this design, you'll see how there's two. So the pit sensor is literally going to be just before the turns.
Yeah,
so the cars can straighten themselves out.
Yeah, because that's such an easy place to miss the fuel, and then that just creates frustration. If you go into the pits and it doesn't let you refuel, you got to go back around again.
So the only reason I have 1x60s in this layout is because this person really wanted to use a curve lane changer.
Oh yeah.
And we have a nice. This is actually a really wide table. I think, those are 4x15 high bank curves with some gap filler in them, which is pretty cray cray.
Yeah.
And then the bridge here, you can see I'm a big fan of bridges. If you're not a fan of those style bridges, there are different bridges you can do or ways to even out lane length. But I really like this one because it's really, really wide. So you see here, you go from I'll start from the top section. You get out of that 4x15 high bank curve, then you hit a flat 3x30. So that gives you time to slow down. And then that turn section there has 2x30s. So you're going even slower. And then it slowly goes back up to a 3x30. You can start to speed up.
Right.
That's one thing. And then again, you see here my philosophy of keeping the 1x60s together. So that S there, those are pretty much all the 1x60s in this layout.
Right.
Because I don't like, if you're gonna have to put 1x60s, then you want to keep them all together. Just so you've done that challenging section that you can just go back to, getting into the mentality of going fast again.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before, where if you throw a 160 in the middle of some 330s and 230s, it just really upsets the car. But if you link 160s together, then the cars handle that much better. Well,
yeah, generally, if you can make the inside pass, you're generally going to be good because you kind of have the speed going for it. Like you have the correct speed. You're not going to try to speed up. Although, people can still surprise you. You'll also notice that 1x60 goes really close to that 3x30 at the top, like those two.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to be fishtailing even with the 124 at that point because you already have to be so slow just to get around that S.
Yeah.
Like I'm always careful when I design my courses that you're not going to have any crashes from a car fishtailing the other lane.
I think there's one.
You don't want them going in opposite directions. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So
we're doing our last track, but let's not try to risk it. Yeah,
that's right.
That's good. That's good.
We'll move on. So I'm reading through the chat. Looks like maybe he spilled his coffee. Peter, did Marty crash? Yes, Marty did crash. So I lost internet for a second, and then my computer it died. And yeah, but we were back. What time is it? 9:14. So yeah, we're approaching. If that was the end, that would have been fine. But I don't think we got to wrap up what you wanted to talk about. So I asked you the question: do you have a lot of customers that ask you to design a track for them? And you were saying yes, that happens quite frequently. Did we finish that? Okay, I couldn't remember if we finished that conversation or not. So
I think we did.
Okay, so one of the things that I enjoy about why I went Carrera with my track is the fact that I get to change it a lot, and I'm super happy with my layout right now. But I've been happy with every other layout that I've done before. One of the big things that I don't think people think about is how easy is it going to be to marshal? And I'm sure that you think about that when you design a track, because I know I do. And the last layout that I had, we had really, it was a fun layout, but it had a lot of sight line issues because 3 of us race most of the time together. And so we've got some wireless controllers. So one person will be on one end, one on the other. And from one end of the track, the sight line was awful. And so, when we design, I try to eliminate that. And that's one of the things that I don't really have a sight line issue with the layout that I have right now. So is that important to you, Billy, when you design?
Line of sight's number one.
Okay.
Even over marshalling, line of sight's number one. Then it's marshalling, and then it's flow.
Okay.
But even if you're, because some people design it based on like wired controllers where everyone's staying together. But the thing is, a lot of you guys are going to end up getting wireless in the future because you can use wireless with wired controllers. Yep. So if you get a wired set, it doesn't mean you have to stick to wired, and it's way better to get some wireless sets, have 2 people stand on the other end of the corner and just have all the corners taken care of. And yeah, I do try to, I tend to just avoid doing 1x60 altogether, but I always find myself adding, maybe 1 or 2. And I try to keep those near the edge, like near a table edge, so that when you wipe out there, they're easy to get.
Right. Yeah, I think you have to think about those turns that might be a technical turn. Where you put them is important because is it an easy reach, or do you have to have a grabber to get to it? A lot of times people's layouts will be up against one wall, and it's just impossible to marshal when it's up against the wall.
Yeah, if you have to use a grabber, if the grabber's part of the equation, that's not a good choice.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes people are stuck; they don't have any other options. So
get some high-heeled work boots, like some high-toed work boots. You know what I mean?
So would you recommend building a lower table? Like what kind of table height if you were building?
I had it hip height before, and I thought that was pretty high. I actually think I'm not sure what my temporary table, my foldable tables are at, but something a little below hip height, I guess. That's what I would go for, like a little below your hip. If you're tall, maybe bring in one of your average sized friends to kind of do a measurement of that.
Yeah.
Like tall people, if you're tall, that's great. I've seen people who are tall just reach right over like a 6-foot table and fix their car. And I'm just like, holy moly. But for the regular average sized man, that's why I think if you're doing just the 2 people, I like the 6x16 the most, because you can run between the table length pretty quickly. And then for width, you're only reaching like usually 3 feet, or else the other person, if you wipe out on the other side of the table, the other person can reach for you.
Right.
Now, if you're doing like a bigger club truck like yours, you can go a wider width because you have more marshals and more hands. And
right.
If there's a problem area,
8 feet wide here.
Yeah. Well, if there's a problem area, you can send the tall guy to be standing on that side of the table the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're like 2.43 meters wide. If I do the math right in my head, I've measured it before. So, but yeah, I think that's a typical width, because plywood in the States is 4 foot by 8 foot. So 8 foot tables happen because it's just easy. But that's a tough stretch across an 8 foot table.
Yeah. My other thing is, I think people, they use too many 1x60s. That's just another little faux pas I have. Is the 1x60 turn, you have to go so slow over that turn. Like magnetless. You could bank them a little bit to help out a bit, but the thing is, you can't bank a flat turn too much, or else you're going to have those same connection issues I was talking about before with the bank turn.
Right.
Like you're kind of limited. And lastly, the one other thing I want to kind of touch upon is track shoulders. When you're designing, people need to really understand, like, you need to have some track shoulders to drift, at least on the outside. If you're doing just 132, I'd rather have a shorter straight with wider turns and track shoulders than the longest possible straight with like a 1x60 and just guardrail.
Right.
Oh, and I wanted to talk about guardrail, didn't I? I wanted to talk about
you did want to talk about guardrail.
Okay. So my advice to the person that wants guardrail is to just put in a shoulder instead. If you put in a shoulder instead, your car is probably not going to get launched off. Just get some plastic. Amanda was saying this before. What were you saying?
The catch fence.
So we get some gutter guard from the dollar store, and just you can, attach that however you like on the side of your table. So track shoulders, gutter guard fencing, you're good. I was actually talking when Dave Kennedy was on one of those streams before, talking about how the commercial tracks were destroying a rental car a day when they're running like a digital rental track. I have not had an issue because I have catch fence around my table. Like, I don't understand how these cars were getting destroyed. I really don't. Like, it's a Carrera car; they're tanks. Like, none of my cars are in bad shape at all, and they're run constantly.
Yeah.
Protection guys, some dollar store catch fence will save you hundreds of dollars on trying to replace a car.
Yeah, I agree.
It's crazy to me people don't run hardwood. It's crazy to me people are running like wood barriers on the side of their track to keep the cars in. Something soft and flexible. I mean, if you're going to run wood, put some padding on the wood on the inside at least.
Yeah, I think I've got wood barriers on the back side, but it's on a straightaway. And there is a section.
Well, that's not a big deal.
Yeah. So, but there is a section at the end, but I've got quite a bit of room between the corner and the barrier. So, you've got to get through a guardrail, then into that wood barrier. So, I haven't had any problems with destroying cars. So
yeah, life will find a way to get over that border, though.
Yeah, every once in a while, but by the time it's scrubbed off so much speed, by the time it gets there, it's not big of a deal.
Yeah, I've had some things happen where even I wonder what just happened, where a car flew off the edge.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. It's like they were fishtailing already, and somebody took the turn too fast, but somehow still made it. So they're just like a little torpedo and knocked the other car off the fence.
Yeah. Yeah,
it just reminds you of like Jurassic Park 2, when that Jeff Goldblum's like, life finds a way.
That's right. Life finds a way when he's explaining the chaos theory.
Yes. Yeah, little drop. That's exactly the slot cars, right? Like, it's exactly like slot cars. Like, you do the same turn the exact same way the second time, but somehow you still wiped out. Like, you made it the first time, the second time. I don't know what happens. Maybe you lose some grip or something because of somebody, their tire rubber gets on the track. But I'm looking so forward to the track cleaning truck, Marty, because I'm so lazy with cleaning my track.
So I have that track, the Pro track cleaner, the Contour, and it does a great job. My brother bought it months ago, and I just use a piece of Swiffer on it. If you know what that is. I don't think they have that in the UK.
We know.
Okay. I didn't know if you had it in Canada or not, but the Swiffer cleaner. Okay. And so we use a lot. I've got a lot of hardwood floors here, and so we use the Swiffer a lot. So I go steal one from the cleaning closet. It is a great job, and then you can hit it with some Windex or some Simple Green and just put a car in ghost mode and go. So yeah, when Carrera finally gets the cleaning truck out, it will be a very popular slot car.
Yes, surprisingly. Maybe it'll help out some of the other trucks as well.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking in the chat to see if there's any questions for you guys. Steve Sweeney, I do not like it when you can Chastain the corner. It's a NASCAR reference.
Okay.
From last year.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I love
agree.
how somebody got to recreate the slot car experience in real life.
That's right. But the
guardrail people have a defense.
I agree. I don't. When I first started, we didn't have any borders, and you don't realize how much you rely on those guardrails to keep you in the slot going around a turn. And then when we added borders, it took a while for us to get used to driving without the guardrails as a crutch. But now that I have borders on everything, I love it. I wouldn't go back.
I think we homemade our borders real quick.
Yeah,
we did, yeah.
Yeah, Curvy Road says the last track you showed, how big was the table? Do you remember?
That was the last one. That was Frank's, I think. The last one we just designed.
Yeah.
That had the 415
give me one.
high bank, right on the left side.
I'm pretty